And okay, I guess this is the, I was gonna say final day for, the case we're doing right now. Rise from the Ashes. Because usually, at least what we've been told, there's usually a 3-day limit for all court cases. But, then again, I've noticed that, for example, on, was it Turnabout Goodbyes, the last case we did, there was an actual extra 4th day, I believe, right? So, who knows? Is this the final day or is it not? I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. This one, right? Let's make sure. Yeah, this one. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. Yeah, okay. Apparently, she's admitting that she had to use forged evidence, in the SL9 incident and whatnot. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Yeah, Phoenix hasn't heard of these. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all in there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. What did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. Oh. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. Okay, apparently she was attacked by this Joe Dark and Neil Marshall died trying to save her. Apparently. It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. Joe Dark, what a name, Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. Ree! I didn't know what was going on. He kept spouting Twitch memes. It was weird. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known about it. Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What was this picture you mentioned? What did you see in the instant that crime occurred? And then probably not like a literal picture, probably like a, you know, in her mind maybe? I don't know. Yeah, look at this. There's Marshall and there's Joe Dark. He's just like right in front of the window. What a dramatic scene. Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neo Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. Well, how long was the SL9? It's like 2 years? You know, ironically, I don't know why, but Emma looks older in this picture for some reason. I don't know, maybe it's because of the little wrinkles here, I don't know. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma. You've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, you must have been 14. Well, that's understandable. Apparently you're wearing the same outfit though. Exactly the same outfit. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. Yes, we understand her tragic waifu backstory, because every waifu sidekick needs to have a tragic backstory in order for you to be emotionally attached to them, so when something bad inevitably happens to them, you'll care. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Okay? What is it? Yeah, what is puzzling Phoenix? You said you were in Lana's office at that time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Yeah, I guess that's pretty weird. Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective offices in the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? Yeah, I think she wasn't the chief yet, I think. But 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. Oh, actually, I didn't know that. I know that, let's see. I'm trying to look at the... Where's the case? Where is it? Scroll. All the way here. I guess the last one. Let's see. Lana's guy. Yeah, right here. Damon Gunn as well, I guess. Yeah, executive... Well, I don't know. I don't know if Damon Gunn was the chief back then, but at the very least, he was like an executive investigator. I don't really know what that means, but executive? I guess more of the, you know, the people at the office, I guess, you know, more in charge of the paperwork, more so than the actual, you know, investigating, going to the crime scene and whatnot, maybe. I don't know. But I guess, yeah, Lana's guy, she was an investigator more so than a prosecutor. She was the best in the entire force. What? Well, that's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective. I'd better have another talk with her then. Anything I can present to you? Can you tell me more about the Joe Dark killings? It seems everything somehow is related to this incident. What was it labeled again? The SL9 incident? Yes, the name of everyone connected to this trial is listed in here. All that's left is to figure out just what role everyone plays in this case. If we search hard enough, I think we'll find our answers. What exactly did or didn't Lana do? I'm not sure I want to know everything. We owe our entire success in court today to this tape. At first I thought it was just a joke, but it turned out to be a goldmine of evidence. Goldmine evidence, partner. I counted a total of 5 clues in it. I also gave the Blue Badger some publicity. Of the negative sort, that is. This fingerprint was left in the locker when Marshall was stashing his bloody coat. I guess that blood wasn't Mr. Goodman's after all. Nope, just that of an overly zealous patrolman. So there was a murder at the police department at 5:15 in the end. I wonder what's going to happen to Officer Marshall now. He probably he'll get fired? Most likely. At the very least, anyway. What is this? Yeah, this jar is pretty fragile. It looks like it's about to break apart. What do you mean about to? It's already broken. I meant again. This piece was found in Detective Goodman's evidence locker. That means this is somehow related to that other incident. Yeah, SO9 again. What about this? Notice the defense have tendency to want to show people things. Yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing right here. I just want to see if she has any insight on any of the SL9 stuff. Guess not. Floor plans. You know anything about the screwdriver? This screwdriver was at Edward's office, wasn't it? Yeah, it's the evidence I guess, he went at 4:40 p.m. to get the evidence apparently, because that's what Damon told him to get. That's why he went into the evidence room in the first place. Yes, he said he didn't have anything to do with the crime. Then what are we doing carrying it around? Hey, don't ask me. I'm not the one making the game design decisions around here. If I recall, Edward said Chief Gunn asked him to take this to the prosecutor's office. Well, maybe we should well, actually, do we have it, or is it just a picture? I never know actually. Some items we actually have in our inventory as in the court record, but some of them are just I assume pictures of the evidence. It's not like we're actually carrying around, for example, these fingerprints. They're not. We're not carrying that around. It's just probably a picture or a photo of it. I don't know. And for the shoe, for example, this is what the lunch lady showed us during court. I don't know. If we're carrying it around, or do we just have a copy of it? Maybe not a photo, but a document maybe that just shows hey, this is a shoe. I don't know. Fingerprinting, ID record. You know anything about this knife? Why would this have been in the car's exhaust pipe? It's evidence from an old case, right? Right, the SL9 incident. It was solved, apparently. Okay, I think that's old dialogue, actually. They already got that dialogue, I believe. Well, I don't know, okay. I think that's it, let's just go. Where do we go? Well, first, let's talk to Lana, actually. I want to figure out more about the SL9 incident, if we can. Unless... oh, no, yeah, she's here. Lana. Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type. Criminals don't mind playing foul, why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details? Especially about the unusual change of jobs. Maybe you just want a career change, I don't know. I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. With that trial, it really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you would always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. To the devil! Oh no! Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife? Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. Police chief and chief prosecutor? They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gaunt cracked together. Chief Gaunt? He was deputy chief of the police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Demon Gaunt, he was everything I aspired to be. And they were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes, so you could use the experience in court, right? Gaunt's help in the SO9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Well, 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. The second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Grant, alright? I keep saying Grant. I don't know, I don't know why Grant. Is that like a common last name? I don't know, Grant. This reminds me of Dark Souls, actually. Isn't there like a weapon named after Grant? Or something like that? I don't know. Anyway. Yes, Deputy Chief Gaunt and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office. We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother, who is quite gung-ho. Quite a cowboy. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place. When he tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gaunt and Neil Marshall were the one questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gaunt and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gaunt and myself. And that's where he found me. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana. It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gaunt and Marshall were questioning Dark. Oh, okay. Backstabbed? On top of him? Weird. I don't know how does that work? When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had okay, I read that wrong. It's like Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, and Emma, who had passed out. Or I don't know why I keep confusing myself. Okay, Prosecutor Marshall, the victim, Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect Joe Dark. Okay, it was an incomplete sentence, so I was like confused there. But yeah, okay, so there's Marshall's, Emma, and there's Joe Dark. All of them are passed out on the floor, apparently. Well, Marshall's dead. Yeah, during the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck the final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. But let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, hmm? I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident just by chance. But that case was solved 2 years ago. It can't be a coincidence, just like every other coincidence in this game that somehow actually is not a coincidence. But anyway, at least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gaunt and I shared. The office that Mr. Gaunt occupies by himself. The Chief's office. Or maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. I'm gonna investigate that too, investigate so many cases. Again, very similar to the last case we did. We got the, somehow another case, an old case is connected to the current case, so we gotta investigate that too. Do we? This guard always has something else new to say, or well, not him saying, but like carrying on his room versus atmosphere. Okay. Usually, depending on the person in the detention center, there's a line of dialogue specific to them. Anyway, can I present this? No. I guess not. Oops. Spam the button. I guess nothing else I can show her. You know, think about this vase. I guess it's jar. That's what it's called, not vase. I don't know. Anyway, I guess yeah, we'll go. We're gonna go. Where do we go though? I guess prosecutor's office, or is it the detective's? I guess office. Where would that be? The criminal affairs? I mean, I guess it's the same building. I think. Well, let's just go here first. It's the only other place we can go. But no one's here. Huh. Everyone's probably busy looking to what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15 p.m. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hey there, Lana. I've got to find all the evidence answers by tomorrow. Yeah, why do they even keep like barrels of water here? I was thinking like, you saw before, apparently Lana knocked over like a drum of water. I mean, it's called an oil drum, right? Why isn't there any oil? Well, I guess there's no reason to have oil there. But now, why do they have water instead? I don't know. Maybe to wash cars? I'm not sure. I think we don't need to check anything here. I'm gonna go here. This is Edgeworth's place. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee? He took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. I guess we'll just have to come back later. Nope. I guess nothing to do here. I guess we have to go to the police department. I can't remember though. I guess okay. I don't know. I keep mixing it up. Okay, the prosecutor office and the police department. They're two different places. I don't know why I keep mixing. I thought like they were like in the same place, or maybe not. Maybe it's because in the prosecutor's office like parking lot there was like a block and a B block, so that's why I got mixed up. Because the B block is not, because I thought for some reason B block was for police, but actually it's just for normal everyday people. So okay, so prosecutor office one place, the police department some other place. In fact, that was like a crucial like piece of information, the fact that 2 murders supposedly took place in 2 different places, so that's why it seemed impossible. Anyway, here's Cowboy. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Sir, you never know where life leads you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why the prosecutors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. Murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Doc's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised. A question? The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there's a good chance the knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother. The day of the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transfer. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently, someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in the investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired, and I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. But what about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gaunt and Lana Skye. So they were the ones responsible? For you guys, being fired and demoted? I guess Goodman, apparently didn't get demoted or whatever, but I don't know. The investigation lead, Damon Gaunt, and his second command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duel. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah. Damon Gaunt, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she's left. Everyone knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma did say something like that too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gaunt. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Well, what did he spit out? The actual, cap? Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina. Yep. I guess he's gonna be homeless. Or at least, I don't know, he probably won't be a police officer. He'll probably need to find another job. Maybe he'll be a mascot at like a cowboy-themed amusement park. Who knows? That might be his true calling. But let's see. Where do we go, though? Can we go inside here? We need to talk to Damon Gaunt. He's involved in all this. He knows something, maybe. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks, Chief. Actually, talk to us. The guy is this guy, I guess, is always here. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media, and tomorrow's trial. There's more chaos going on, and then Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gaunt's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, wait a minute, you're right. You can't go in there, it's off limits. Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Even though we're not allowed to. Oops. What are you doing on the computer? One of the detectives, he's mumbling something about himself. The villain used a time machine! Nani? Zero escape? No. Very clever indeed. That would explain the alibi. The future might not be so far away after all. He's writing a novel. That man must be the chief of detectives. He's staring at the screen so hard, might shatter. What? Dark case may have been fabricated. That's what I thought all along. I just never bothered to tell anyone. Now there's a guy who cares about his work. Blue Badger. Future star of the police force. The design's a little changed from the one outside. Well, the dancing Blue Badger, TM, is still under development, you see. You have a trademark? Absolutely, it's cutting-edge stuff, very now. I show this doll here to my daughter and she bursts into tears. Don't show her the movie mock-up outside then, you'll give her nightmares. Anything else on the computers? Guess not. Alright. Time to go to the chief's office. Wow, that's a big, what do you call it, like an organ? I guess, yeah, like an organ you usually see in church. Oh, I guess that's what's playing the theme song right now. Whoa, where am I? In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That's real, isn't it? Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me notes. I never could remember where C was. Well, it's before, it's before B and after B. Or before D, after B, anyway. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gaunt. He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, righto, have you been swimming lately? Always asking people if they swam. No, I haven't. I've been kinda busy lately. I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement? Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies. See that big picture of the wall over there? Well, that's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to commemorate our work together. Something's not right with this picture. I can spot a few things, maybe. I can't quite seem to put my finger on it, though. Anyway, I like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm gonna lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh, but this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Okay? Okay. Looks like we aren't welcome. It seems the case isn't over with yet after all. What do you mean? Chief Gaunt denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Well, you get a little lockpick and then, you know, sneak inside. If only we had a master thief with us. Do you know how to lockpick, Emma? I don't know. What is this picture? No. Anyway, how do we get in though? I don't know. How do we get in? I mean, I don't know. Can we just barge in again? Can we just go in and try to go inside again? Hey, pal! Ah, Detective Gumshoe. Aren't you supposed to be in the meeting? I'm, just taking a breather. My feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually. From serving everyone coffee. Okay. He's more of a, like, errand boy than a detective. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No, why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. The whole world. Yikes. But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Well, I don't know. Depends if Edgeworth knew, you know. Did he know? Did he know? Didn't he know? I don't know. How can we prove that? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that. As you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now, with this... Are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, only those with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know of for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go for lunch again sometime, my treat. Well, yes, sir. You gotta take me back to the joint someday, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. You know, it's funny, he said, like, having a lot of talent and being young is what makes you enemies. Is Gumshoe the opposite of that? He has no talent. And he's not young, I guess. Well, how old is he? I don't know. Is he like 30-ish? Yeah, he's just 30. I don't know. So, I guess not that old. It's not like super old, like Damon Gaunt. Super old. Joe Dark. And also this guy. Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack, you mean? When he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl. Oh, me. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was a girl. Now that's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what is it? Oh, let's see. I think it has something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never fail to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just your run-of-the-mill businessman. A businessman? What made him take to serial killing? One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. Oh, with his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. A kid walked by just then, so he killed him too. Then, when he was burying the bodies, a jogger came upon the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. It reminds me of in the Hitman games, you know, playing as Agents 47. You're trying to like do a hit on a target and whatnot, and there's there's a witness, gotta kill the witness. Oh, there's another witness. Oh, there's another witness. Oh, there's another witness. Well, obviously you're not supposed to just kill a bunch of witnesses, but I don't know. Of course, this is all conjecture. There wasn't a single shred of evidence, so he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim, Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that last witness wasn't killed. And that last witness, it's Emma. Yeah. Well, can we actually, no, he mentioned again something about a murder weapon? It doesn't show here though. Well, I guess we'll show it. I mean, I assume it's the knife, right? Not that knife, but this one. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 Incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of? What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker, and was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. Oh, that's it! Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again. Murder weapon. Well, this knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? Yeah, that's right. We traced it back to the store he brought it at, plus it has some fingerprints on it too. But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right? Oh, that's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. And you don't have to take a good look to know it's that. Yeah, well anyway, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. But did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Stabbed in the back, died from punctured heart and lung, and a knife tip was in the wound. Do knives normally break apart though, that easily? I don't know. Unless it hits bone, I guess? I don't know. I wouldn't know. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gunn. It's not money, but it does concern the Chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The Chief's out now, and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay. Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door. What, really? But if I let a civilian there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. I wonder if there's something we could show him that would make him change his mind. We must bribe him with a steak lunch, maybe. I don't know. Maybe actually now that I think about it, maybe that is what we're supposed to do. We have to find that lunch lady though. Because I don't think we can show him anything. Here's my badge! Here's my attorney's badge. You show this to me every time we meet, pal. Real man, show the police badge. Okay. I was gonna say like, here's my badge. Now give me the ID. Give me your ID. No, okay. No. No new topics. Parking lot. No? Lunch lady's not here. Aw, oh, man, we can't get a steak lunch. Because I remember, when we had that steak lunch, he really wanted it. Edgeworth, are you around? Can you convince Gumshoe, please? I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. Oh, there he is. It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? Oh, he sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Well, cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. Well, that's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So, what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I can do to erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error, and my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work, so tell me why. Tell me why, why does it all come to this? Well, how's it go? Like, tell me why I bought the Alpha Alarm clock. I don't know. You know, it's funny because the original song, you know, tell me why, what's it called again? I actually forgot. You know, the Backstreet Boys, you know that song? It's a famous song. But the first time I heard that was from the Weird Al parody song, you know? A lot of like normie mainstream songs I know only because of Weird Al, you know? I bought it on eBay is what I remember from that song. Anyway. Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Well, are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's only half as long as most lists? That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time. That picture? Something that seems strange about it. Well, could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in a ceremony over the station, right? I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out of the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes, just odds and ends, clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is until I was asked to bring something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gunn asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back here to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to? That's right. That's right, right? Phoenix, right? No? I didn't move, actually. I saw something, actually. He threw, like, a piece of paper, right? What is this? I wonder what he was writing before. Oh, come on, Mr. Wright. Let's take a look. Take a look. It's in a book. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. I'll just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Hey, old buddy, old pal. Is that Detective Gumshoe out on the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Oh my god. Hold on. First, let me see what that girl's doing crawling around my feet. He didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it was your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been just a just one. I can't forgive myself what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. This letter of resignation. Well, I wonder if I can use it for anything. Alright, we're just gonna... We're gonna, like, give the letter to his boss before the court, and then he gets fired. Or, well, not fired, but laid off. You know, and then we win the case, huh? Or maybe not. Maybe he won't be exactly, like, laid off, you know, right as soon as he sends the letter. Usually, there's, like, a 2-week notice, isn't there? Anyway.